So good morning, everyone. Welcome to a Brilliant Businesses podcast. My name's Nick Bryant, and I'm with Craig Shields this morning. Morning, Craig.
Morning.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Good.
How are
good.
you?
I'm very well, thanks. Thanks for coming in and having the chat with us. So Craig's business is CS Carpentry and Construction. It's a family-run business which has been in the industry for over 15 years in construction and carpentry. But tell us your story, Craig. Let's start by how it all came about.
Start from when I left school, really. So left school, worked for the builder, and wanted to be a bricklayer straight away. But the guy I was working for was like, "You don't want to be a bricklayer. You want to be a carpenter because you end up working with all of the trades. You end up being a site manager. You end up running your own business." And it was the best advice I was ever given by a guy called Trevor I used to work for.
Okay.
I worked with them for quite a few years, learning all the building trade, all of plastering, bricklaying, carpentry. But it got to a point where I was doing my carpentry course and I needed to finish it. And where I was working with a general builder, I just wasn't getting where I wanted to be.
Okay.
So I left there and went to work for a shop fitting company. And we went all over the country doing Debenhams and Marks and Spencer's stores and then straight away started running a team. We worked up to Scotland and running a team up there, and then obviously just things. I've got my carpentry course finished, and I had children. My first little girl, Lily Rose, and it was about time that I wasn't travelling around the country.
Okay,
So then I started working for a local loft company and started working for them. Straight away, I knew I didn't really want to be working for them. I wanted to be working for myself. And at that time, I met my future-to-be wife, Leonie, and talking to my future father-in-law then, and he's now my father-in-law now, saying to him, I'm fed up with what I'm doing, I like running a team, I just don't know how to do it really. So he introduced me to networking, so I went to BNI. That's where it all sort of began for me. And I looked after his maintenance company. He had a portfolio of properties, and my brother-in-laws were gas engineer, electrician, carpenter. Between the four of us, we looked after the properties for him, and we grew it from a maintenance company to a construction company. So we'd done that for quite a few years, got the know-how of the business, and then I relocated myself from Bromley down to the Isle of Sheppey to get on the property ladder, because it was one of the things I wanted to do. Being in property, I wanted to own my own property, and it was just expensive in Bromley really. So then I moved to there, and then at that time it was like, right, it was about time we all started doing it for ourselves. So we've run the family business for about 8 years, and so that's when I've set up CS Carpentry. So knowing all the part of BNI and networking, I just went to Sittingbourne, local BNI, and walked in there, didn't have a logo, didn't have nothing, so I knew I could get it all in the room. And I set up CS Carpentry. And I just wanted to stick to carpentry and do small construction works, and from there onwards I knew I wanted to grow the team big, because I like to have a big team around me, and I prefer being off the tools. I like the business side of things quite a lot. I enjoy that. So I had CS Carpentry, built up the team, added a few more guys along the way, put in some site managers. We was working for some developers, and as I was networking, because I wanted to do more carpentry and more high-end stuff, my specific referral, as they say in BNI, was to be was interior designer. So I got introduced to Suzanne through BNI and started doing all Suzanne's work, and then things just grow from there. We both wanted to do property, and from that we then started doing our own developments really. And I think any builder that wants to, or carpenter or tradesman, always wants to be their own client. And I think that was always what I wanted to do. So being in a property, got on the property ladder, set up my own business, got good people around me. It was all about utilising the team properly and putting it to a good use of our own developments, which is where CS Carpentry went from that to linking with Link ID with Furnish Interiors with Suzanne. So that was sort of my journey in a little nutshell, if that makes sense.
It's quite a big nutshell.
It is. It was over it's over 20 years now. But I went through all the stages of knowing how to do from the ground upwards. It
sounds like you cut your teeth really in almost every single part of building and construction that there is.
But the knowledge, the advice I got given at the beginning from Trevor was not a bricklayer. Carpenter was the best advice I was ever given, because carpenters always got to have involvement with the brickies when setting out the foundations And then obviously when the walls are going up, putting the windows in, putting the roof on, then speaking to electricians and plumbers inside. So it all made sense. The carpenters are normally site managers on the project. And from there onwards, we was always the main contractor. So it was just natural for us to do our own projects, really.
So you must enjoy managing people, because you must have a big team or a team of reasonable size.
I like managing people as much as I do.
It's a challenge, though, isn't it?
It's a very big challenge. There's some interesting characters through construction,
of course,
it's building the right team, and I'm so thankful at the moment. The team I've got around me are great, and everyone's got good visions, and we're all about the same age, so it all works really well, and pleased with it, really. To be fair.
Have you found BNI, as far as someone going into BNI that maybe is not used to speaking to lots of people, you get up and you do your 60-second presentation, and it can be a bit nerve-wracking for people, but especially for people that work in speaking with other people, sort of businesses like what you are in. You're quite good at it. So
when my father-in-law first took me to BNI, I didn't speak for 6 weeks.
Oh, did you not? Okay, all right.
I didn't really know where I was going, to be quite honest. But I was there for 6 weeks, and my father-in-law coached me. I was 21 then, so I was very much like, everyone suits.
That's what I mean. Yeah, it's daunting, right?
Didn't feel like I fitted in, But I got the first job out of it, and this when they used to pass paper slips around.
That's it.
Get the paper slip, got the job, and after that you just get the buzz for it, and then after a while it comes quite natural, which is good, really. I like now, even sitting into a room now, main contractors and tradesmen in BNI are mainly the heart and soul of the chapter sometimes. Do you know what I mean? They bring a lot of business into the chapter.
Absolutely,
But everyone in the room's equal, isn't it? And I think that's where the mindset changes after a while, but it does take a little adjusting. But I wouldn't see business without networking now.
No, it's a great way to grow your business. Also, it's a great way of gaining confidence and finding other business owners, especially BNI. It's really good. And obviously, you met Suzanne. We're going to talk with Suzanne shortly and about the company that you formed called Link ID.
Yeah.
The ID stands for investment development, doesn't it?
That's right. Yeah.
Because you're going more into property development.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
So obviously, with Suzanne's background with design and our construction, Suzanne designs, we build, and it was just a great partnership to do. And obviously, when we first set out, is obviously we needed investment to come in, so that's why the investment and the development comes from it. So we work with local investors to invest into our knowledge and our skills. Yeah. And then we can get on and work at our flow of what we want to do. Because we used to work with a lot of developers, and we used to see people making mistakes.
Okay.
And we used to tell them, they wouldn't listen, or they've seen something on Pinterest, or things are not practical. But obviously we know, and we can make decisions on the spot, which is going to be our decision. We don't have to wait for the client anymore. So it just works really, really well, So it's
a good synergy.
That's what I say in my 60 seconds now. You're investing into our knowledge, You're investing into our time, and as much as they invest into property, actually, if you're going to invest into people that are not in property, it's probably going to take them a lot longer to make their mistakes, which we've already probably done with clients along the way, So
you learn from your mistakes.
So yeah.
What's the ideal sort of chunk of work for you? What sort of stuff are you looking for?
Well, we normally work on. We don't go with big developments like 100 houses. That's not what we're about, because we are family run, and we'd like to. We've got a smallish team, like a small, medium-sized team around us. Yeah. So it's comfortable for us. Okay. So we work on units from like just doing a mid-terrace property, turning it in from a 2 to a 3-bedroom. Okay. And then obviously going up to like getting a commercial to residential, and turning it from a shop into 9 flats as such.
Okay. Right.
The one we're working on at the moment in Hive is a pub. And it's got 5 units on, and a shop and a restaurant it'll be. So they're like medium-sized developments, not massive like you drive past these Barratt homes and things like that.
Okay.
It's not about that, because obviously we're all about giving high value on the projects, and on the bigger projects, I think you lose that character,
Yeah, so, definitely.
So
that's the difference between being a developer and being a builder.
Yeah, well, being a builder is it comes with its challenges with the clients, and the funding and stuff like that. But we're obviously being a developer, you're in more control of the finance, So I think that's one of the big things for tradesmen is that, am I going to get paid?
Yeah.
Is the client happy? And I think generally there's 80% of builders out there that are good, can get a bad name from not doing nothing bad, but just the client just being upset about something, So it was eliminating all that for me, really. And being a developer, you're in control of it all. So when the money's coming in, you know when it's coming in. Because obviously that's the biggest thing in any business, really. Just
cash
making
flow.
sure you get paid.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you want to just enjoy what you're doing, you know?
Yeah.
So.
And I think also with when you're dealing with the general public and you're a builder, communication is massively important because, you know, people at home and where's the builders today, or they're off doing that and they don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So, you know, you've got to be hot on that, haven't you?
Yeah, and through CS Carpentry, we've always managed to try and keep communication with our clients really well, to be fair. So, and that's one of the things that I've always tried to do, you know, is to make sure that our clients are notified all the way through the projects. But even that, and I think a lot of builders, even if they listen to this, they will know what I'm talking about. You will give as much communication as you can. You'll tell them as much as you can. But clients sometimes could maybe have busy life going on somewhere else, and it can just come home and they'll be like, "Oh, I expected that to be done, but there's a reason why it wasn't done," you know? And it's sometimes explaining that method and getting it over to them, but they're already upset by then.
Okay, you're flogging a dead horse, as they say.
Yeah. So, but I think communication is key, even in what we're doing now with the developing, like communication between all the tradesmen and stuff like that. So it's crucial, you know. So
yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Well, you're obviously doing a good job because you're doing well. Yeah, trying. And we're gonna have a chat with Suzanne now, and so we'll wrap this one up. And but thanks for talking to you, Craig. We're going to get you back in a while, and we'll talk to you both together.
Okay.
But thanks for joining us, and we'll see you for another podcast soon. Cheers.
Brilliant. Cheers. Thank you.